Approaching a sensitive topic like someone's dating or sexual history, especially the question of body count, requires empathy, respect, and understanding. People's personal histories are complex, and forming any assumptions about a person based solely on this can be misleading and even hurtful. Here, I'll discuss ways to engage with respect and empathy on the topic rather than attempting to detect this aspect of someone's past. If you're interested in someone's background for legitimate reasons, the best path is to build open communication, understanding, and mutual respect. Here are some suggestions for developing a meaningful, respectful connection, rather than trying to guess or assume anything about someone's past. Determining someone's body count, or the number of past sexual partners they've had, is a sensitive and deeply personal topic. While curiosity about a partner's past is natural, especially if you're considering a committed relationship, this information is often considered private, and asking directly can be seen as intrusive or disrespectful. Society's views on intimacy and past relationships are evolving, and people may feel vulnerable or judged when asked to disclose such details, especially if the question feels out of place or is not approached with sensitivity. For many, the number of past partners is less relevant than other aspects of the relationship, like shared values, emotional compatibility, and mutual respect. However, if understanding more about your partner's past is important to you, perhaps to gain clarity around compatibility, values, or intentions, there are ways to approach the topic respectfully and thoughtfully. It's crucial to prioritize respect and empathy in these conversations to ensure that your partner feels valued and accepted, rather than judged or interrogated. Here are some considerations to bear in mind if this topic comes up naturally or if you're reflecting on compatibility in a broader sense. Respect privacy and boundaries. A person's past is their own, and they have every right to choose how much or how little they disclose about it. Recognizing and respecting your partner's privacy means acknowledging that their past experiences, including their intimate history, belong to them and don't necessarily need to be shared. They may feel that these details don't define who they are today or how they approach the relationship with you. People's comfort level around discussing their intimate past varies widely based on factors such as cultural background, personal beliefs, past relationships, and personality. Some may be open and willing to discuss these experiences in detail, while others may feel uncomfortable or guarded. Being sensitive to these differences shows emotional maturity and understanding, as it respects the other person's right to hold personal experiences as private. When approaching this or any other deeply personal topic, consider your partner's comfort level and readiness to share, and communicate that you're willing to respect their boundaries fully. For instance, you might say something like, "I don't need to know every detail of your past, but if you ever want to share anything, I'm here to listen without judgment." This statement demonstrates both interest and respect, offering space for open sharing without imposing pressure. Certainly, considering why you're interested in knowing someone's past is a helpful first step that can provide clarity and even reshape how you approach the topic. Here's a closer look at each of these considerations. 1. Reflect on why this matters to you. Before asking a partner about their intimate history, it's valuable to reflect on the reasons behind your curiosity. Why does this information feel important to you? Sometimes, the desire to know about someone's past relationships or experiences comes from underlying feelings of insecurity, jealousy, or fear of inadequacy. Perhaps you're looking for reassurance that you're enough for them or hoping to understand how you compare to others they've been with. It's also possible that curiosity about their past stems from wanting to gauge compatibility in terms of values and lifestyle. Being honest with yourself about the root of your curiosity can help you process any potential insecurities or fears that may come up. If your interest in their past reflects a need for validation or reassurance, consider exploring these feelings within yourself first. You may find that once you address these feelings internally, the need to know every detail of their past fades, allowing you to focus more on the present and the bond you're building with them. When you do this self-reflection, ask yourself how knowing the answer would genuinely impact your relationship. If it's likely to cause tension or stir up emotions, it might be worth letting go of the need to ask. After all, focusing on mutual respect, kindness, and understanding in your present relationship often contributes more to long-term happiness than details of past relationships. 2. Build open communication. Strong relationships are built on open and honest communication, not on assumptions. If you feel that a person's past is relevant, work on creating an environment of mutual trust and respect where sensitive topics can be approached gently. Open communication means listening without judgment and speaking with empathy and care. Instead of focusing on the numbers or specifics of their past, talk about each other's values and expectations moving forward. It's also helpful to be vulnerable and open about your own experiences. When one person opens up, it can often encourage the other to do the same. Being vulnerable helps build trust and signals that you're not seeking to judge them but rather to understand and support each other. As you build trust, you'll likely find that many of the details of each other's past become less important than the mutual understanding and bond you're creating. For instance, if you're concerned about compatibility in terms of values or lifestyle, you could approach it in a gentle way by saying, "I value openness in our relationship, and I want us to be on the same page about what we want moving forward." This leaves room for your partner to share at their own comfort level without feeling pressured. 3. Acknowledge that people change and grow. One of the most important things to remember is that people are not defined by their past. Experiences, values, and behaviors evolve over time, and your partner's past doesn't necessarily reflect who they are today. Every individual is shaped by their unique journey, and understanding this can help you see them more fully and without judgment. Instead of focusing on past relationships, it's often more valuable to focus on the present version of your partner and how they show up in the relationship with you. Consider their current values, how they treat you, and the kind of future they envision. These aspects will have a much greater impact on your relationship than anything that happened before you met. If thoughts about their past still weigh on your mind, it might be helpful to remind yourself that growth and change are natural. They may have learned important lessons from their past that have made them a better partner. This is especially true if they're committed to personal growth and value the relationship with you. Embracing this perspective can help you approach any conversations about their past with understanding and compassion rather than judgment. By focusing on these considerations, you create a space where you can both feel safe, respected, and valued. This fosters a healthier and more supportive relationship, rooted in mutual trust and a focus on who you are together in the present rather than who each of you used to be. 4. Consider cultural and social factors. Understanding a partner's past often requires a nuanced view that takes into account cultural, social, and even familial influences. Relationships, dating, and intimacy are perceived and approached in diverse ways around the world. For example, someone from a culture where dating is approached conservatively may have a different outlook and past experiences than someone from a culture that promotes a more liberal approach to relationships. A person's background can deeply shape their values, expectations, and comfort levels in relationships. For instance, some cultures encourage dating from an early age, while others emphasize commitment and discourage casual relationships. By recognizing these cultural factors, you open the door to a more compassionate understanding of your partner's experiences and can more easily empathize with their past choices, even if they're different from your own. Approaching these differences with curiosity rather than judgment allows you to see beyond any cultural stereotypes and recognize the individual. You might ask open-ended questions to learn more about their perspective and experiences, such as, "How have your experiences shaped your views on relationships?" This approach demonstrates respect for their background and shows that you're interested in understanding their unique viewpoint. 5. Avoid making assumptions based on stereotypes. It's easy to slip into assumptions based on stereotypes or generalizations, particularly around dating history. We're often influenced by societal expectations and media portrayals that promote oversimplified or exaggerated ideas about someone's intimate past. For example, certain behaviors or outward traits, like being social, outgoing, or career-focused, are often incorrectly associated with assumptions about someone's dating or relationship history. Relying on stereotypes can lead to misunderstandings and unwarranted judgments, which can damage trust and open communication. Instead, focus on getting to know your partner through genuine, open dialogue rather than forming conclusions based on generalizations. Acknowledging their individuality and complexity as a person shows that you're invested in knowing the real them, rather than a version shaped by external assumptions. By appreciating your partner for who they are, you allow the relationship to be shaped by mutual respect and understanding rather than limiting beliefs or biases. If a question about their past comes up, approach it from a place of genuine curiosity, and avoid placing any specific expectations on their answers. For example, what do you think you've learned from your past relationships, can be a respectful way to explore their history without making assumptions. 6. Listen to what your partner chooses to share. In a relationship, each person has the right to share what they're comfortable with when they're ready. Trusting that your partner will share important aspects of their past when the time is right can prevent pressure or tension from building around these topics. Often, as trust grows, people naturally become more open about their experiences. When your partner chooses to share details about their past, listen actively and without judgment. This reinforces their trust in you and encourages further openness. If they decide not to go into detail, respect that boundary and focus on the positive aspects of your relationship in the present. It's essential to remember that a relationship should be built on mutual respect and understanding, not on a requirement to disclose every detail of past experiences. To show your support, you could say something like, "I appreciate anything you're willing to share with me, but I understand if there are things you prefer to keep private." This lets your partner know that you're open to listening while respecting their boundaries. Ultimately, cultivating patience and acceptance reinforces a relationship based on trust and understanding. Each of these considerations, reflecting on your own motivations, communicating openly, appreciating growth, understanding cultural influences, avoiding stereotypes, and respecting boundaries, helps foster a relationship built on respect and empathy. By embracing these values, you can focus on creating a fulfilling and authentic connection with your partner, regardless of what's in their past. 7. Be prepared for honest conversations about values and expectations. If understanding each other's values and expectations feels important to you, it's wise to have open, honest conversations with your partner that focus on the future rather than digging into the past. Discussing topics like commitment, long-term goals, family aspirations, and personal growth can offer insights into each other's priorities and compatibility. These conversations allow both of you to clarify what you're looking for and ensure that your relationship goals align. By sharing openly about what you both find meaningful, you create a foundation of trust and understanding without prying into each other's histories. For example, you might ask, "What does a healthy relationship look like to you?" or "What are your thoughts on long-term commitment?" This approach keeps the focus on building a meaningful connection and fosters mutual respect. 8. Work through insecurities together. Feelings of insecurity can often drive curiosity about a partner's past. If you find yourself wanting to know details of their history because you're feeling uncertain or worried, it might be helpful to take a step back and explore those feelings. Rather than seeking information that may feed your insecurities, consider discussing your concerns openly with your partner. Expressing your feelings of insecurity in a gentle, honest way allows your partner to understand and support you. A caring partner will likely be open to reassuring you and working through any anxieties together. For instance, you could say, "Sometimes I feel insecure and worry about not being enough. I just want to let you know so we can work through it together." This approach shows vulnerability, which can lead to greater emotional intimacy and can reassure both of you that your relationship is built on trust and compassion. 9. Remember that true compatibility comes from shared values and trust. When it comes down to it, true compatibility in a relationship is based on shared values, mutual respect, and a genuine desire for each other's happiness. Rather than focusing on the details of a partner's past, which may not be relevant to their current self or your relationship, concentrate on building trust, openness, and understanding in the present. By aligning on values like honesty, commitment, kindness, and mutual support, you create a connection that's more likely to withstand challenges. Compatibility is less about what happened before you met and more about the vision you both have for the relationship moving forward. Trust and shared values become the foundation that sustains your bond, while each partner's past experiences can be acknowledged as parts of the journey that led them to where they are today. 10. Embrace your partner's whole story. Everyone has a unique story that has shaped who they are, and that story includes experiences of love, growth, mistakes, and self-discovery. Rather than viewing your partner's past as something to question or investigate, try to embrace it as part of what makes them a whole, unique person. Accepting and understanding your partner's journey, without judgment, can deepen your connection and foster a sense of compassion and trust. Instead of looking for details to assess or question, try to appreciate how each experience, including any lessons learned from previous relationships, has helped shape the person you're with. Embracing your partner's entire story with compassion and understanding lets you both focus on who they are today and the relationship you're building together. This level of acceptance encourages each of you to be fully yourselves, creating a strong, supportive connection that's resilient to doubts or insecurities. By taking these approaches, you prioritize understanding, trust, and shared values in your relationship. Focusing on what you both want to create together and embracing each other's unique journeys allows you to form a lasting bond rooted in respect and mutual growth.